North America and they clicked on find a contractor, they could go to continue. We could type in a zip code. When we typed it in, every contractor that has a 1,200 square or 5,000 square commitment is going to be listed as a verified partner with IKO, okay? What that allows you to do is essentially go in and create a website, create essentially a company history. You can give them the opportunity to quote instantly off the website, or they can be required to call you, but it essentially is a lead generation source allowing you to go ahead and essentially co-brand your business with us as a manufacturer, okay? So if you go down and you look, anybody with this right here is gonna say they're gonna do 5,000 squares or more in a year. Anybody with this right here is saying they're gonna do 1,200 squares or more in a year, okay? What we have is essentially 5 pages worth of contractors saying that they can service within 50 miles of 77007. Okay, that's essentially all we're doing whenever we're trying to get these co-branded websites. And again, when you go on there, I just click on this one because he has a complete profile. The Roof Pro team is giving him a 5-star contractor rating because he went in essentially. If you look at his profile, he's got his hours of operation, he's got his reviews linked. You continue to scroll down, he's got his company history linked, photo of the family, and then you can actually go and look at different projects that they've done. Okay, so from a standpoint of just having a number and just having the name versus having a completely filled out profile does a lot in being able to actually generate leads for you and your brand, okay? The second thing on the website that we want to make sure we try and take advantage of is what we call our roof viewer system. And so if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, we're on North America, we scroll down to the bottom of the page and we're trying to essentially generate a image. We're at the homeowner's house and we're trying to say, hey, Mr. Homeowner, do you know what IKO matte black would look like on your roof? Do you know what IKO Monaco red or Dynasty Monaco red is going to look like on your roof? You can go to their driveway, take a picture of their roof, and then free of charge actually change the color of their roof right there. So they have an idea, okay, well, and what is that going to look like on my red brick? You can go in, change the color of your matte black. Now you can see, okay, that's what it's going to look like. Give them an actual visualization. If they want to take a look at, hey, well, what does the designer look like on my roof? You know, what does a red brick on red tile look like on our roof? You have the ability to go through and change those things right there for them. So instead of showing a sample board or showing a bifold, which we obviously want to do, it's just another visual aid. Most people are visual these days, so it gives them an extra added ability to go ahead and look and see, okay, this is what we're trying to go ahead and accomplish when we're putting this shingle on our roof, okay? So those two things are there for you in regards to visualization, in regards to exposure. Then we have our Blueprint for Roofing series on YouTube. So essentially what that is in the event that you were pulling up on a job site and you guys are trying to figure out, hey, are they installing those Cambridge shingles right? If it's a piecemeal job and we're doing Dynasty and just the hip and ridge, there is an install video for every accessory and every field shingle that we offer on YouTube. We're gonna play the Dynasty one right now, but Dynasty, Cambridge, and Nordic all have the same length, width, height, and exposure. So from an install 40, 30, 20, 10 offset, they're all gonna have the same offset going up the roof. So this just kind of shows whether you're using our Class 3 laminate in Cambridge, our Class 3 performance shingle in Dynasty, or a Class 4 Nordic shingle in performance. All of them are installed to the same length, width, height, and exposure, okay?
Let's talk about installing IKO Dynasty and Nordic Performance Class shingles. Well, all types, styles, and sizes of shingles are installed in roughly the same way. There's enough variation that you must follow the application instructions specific to the shingle you're using. IKO's Performance Collection is engineered to offer superior protection against increasingly severe weather events. Nordic and Dynasty both feature Armor Zone, a woven reinforced band on the back of the shingle that provides awesome nail-holding power. The 1 1/4 inch wide nailing surface on the face of the shingle will help you place your nails accurately anywhere within the zone. Together with IKO's Fast Lock sealant, the Armor Zone helps the shingles resist uplifting and blow off, even in very high winds. They both offer IKO's True Square Advantage, meaning that 3 bundles will give you exactly 1 full square of coverage. To benefit from this, be sure you provide the full 5 7/8 inch tab exposure for each course of shingles. Here's how to install them once you've applied an IKO roof starter as shown in previous episodes of Blueprint for Roofing. For the first course, start with a complete shingle. Install it flush with the roof starter course at rake and eave. Apply nails about 1 inch and 13 inches from each end. Continue across the roof with full shingles. Remember, always drive nails straight so that the nail head is flush with, but not cutting into the shingle surface. If nail heads are left sticking up, they can tear into the shingle that's applied above them. To lay the second, third, and fourth courses, trim 10 inches, 20 inches, and 30 inches respectively from the left end of the starting shingle. Apply so that it aligns flush with the starter at rake. Continue each course across the roof with full shingles butting ends loosely. Align the bottom edge of the shingles with the tops of the saw teeth of the shingles in the underlying course. You can use other offsets that vary between 6 inches and 10 inches. That won't adversely affect the application provisions of ICO's limited warranty. To lay the fifth and succeeding courses, simply repeat the sequence of the first 4 and work your way up the roof. For maximum wind protection, use asphalt plastic cement to seal the shingles together at the rake edges. Note, in circumstances where the slope of your roof is 21 inches per foot, 60 degrees or more, use 6 nails per shingle instead of 4. Each nail must penetrate both layers of the shingle, so nail into the lower nail line only. Ensure that no nail is within 2 inches of a shingle joint in adjacent courses. For added wind protection, seal down each shingle at time of application with 3 1-inch diameter spots of asphalt plastic cement placed under the shingle 2 inches above the bottom edge and equally spaced along the shingle. Use roofing cement sparingly, as excessive amounts may cause blistering. Look at that roof with pride. You've done a beautiful job.
And so one thing I always like to point out whenever we're watching this is just making sure, hey, if we're in a wind zone, Texas Department of Insurance area, making sure you're installing the high wind zone area or high wind zone codes. Most times the industry is installing to the minimum standard. They're not installing to like the top standard. Like a top standard would technically be a fortified roof, right? The industry is still technically installing, architectural shingle with a 3-tab ridge cap for the most part in some areas, right? And so from a standpoint of just making sure if you're in certain areas that you're installing the code, because we don't want to come back and then, hey, well, they didn't cover this roof or this, that, and third, when in reality, it may be a situation where we needed to make sure that we installed the high wind applications, okay? Got through that. Now let's dig into some product knowledge. Okay, so IKO is on the 4th generation of a family-owned company. If this goes ahead and play. Okay. Yeah, we're on the 4th generation of a family-owned company. The company was founded in 1951 and started doing shingles in 1954. I believe they opened the first plant in 1958 in Brampton, Ontario. What this is going to do, we're going to have a few videos. We're going to go through essentially what a plant tour would look like if we were ever to go on a plant tour in Hillsboro. We'll go through some of the company history, our geographical footprint in regards to North America. We'll go through a little bit of product knowledge in regards to Dynasty, Cambridge, Nordic, and then we'll answer any questions you guys have in regards to, hey, are we piecemealing these roofs? Are we installing full systems? What specifically can we do to help Martin Construction? Okay.
A lot has changed since ICO first opened its doors in 1951. From a single building paper plant, ICO has grown into one of the world's largest manufacturers and exporters of residential roofing products. Today, our ever-expanding product line features a broad selection of styles and colors designed to meet changing homeowner preferences and provide contractors with high-quality products that are designed to stand the test of time. But it's what hasn't changed that makes ICO one of the most respected names in the industry. For more than 60 years, ICO's family-owned business has embodied the values and vision of our founder to be a consistent and reliable source of the highest quality roofing products. For more than 3 generations, our owners have worked hard to be the industry's...
Uh-oh, my bad. I was trying to pause that real quick. The gentleman that you saw standing there with the long hair is our current president and CEO.
Hard to be the industry's...
So this is David Kaczynski. He's our current president and CEO. Essentially, you have 3 generations of the Kaczynski family right there, but every member in the family will essentially come, they work in one of the plants, so they start out in a role, they'll go to university, and then they end up working for another job for a year or 2 before they come back into some vertical of the family business. There is about 18 or 19 different subsidiaries under the IKO umbrella, whether it's, most upcoming, the newest one will be Bismarck Granules, but IKO owns Decra, they own Tilcor, Roof Mart. From supply chain to the granules, to the wrappers, to the fiberglass mat, to the actual logistics of the trumping company, they're all essentially under the same Igor Kaczynski organization. Okay.
Innovation leader when it comes to new products and the manufacturing processes used to make those products. ICO's founder also believed the highest quality roofing products are made using the best processes and the highest quality raw materials. This is why being a vertically integrated company is so important to ICO and you. Vertical integration is about gaining control of the raw material supply and maintaining that control throughout the entire manufacturing process. Being vertically integrated means ICO is never at the mercy of their suppliers and is better able to ensure that only the best raw materials are used to make their products. Proof of ICO's unmatched quality is the internal measures used to verify all products meet ICO's gold standard. Being gold standard verified means that all of ICO's products are manufactured to meet the meticulous manufacturing specifications established by ICO's quality assurance team. By meeting this standard, we support ICO's unprecedented ability to mix and match shingles of like style and colors that are manufactured in any one of ICO's North American manufacturing plants. While other roofing manufacturers impose their plant's limitations with do not mix stickers, due to ICO's gold standard verification process and ICO's high degree of vertical integration, shingles from various ICO manufacturing plants have a superior ability to be mixed and matched. A commitment to innovation, an unwavering belief in North American pride and workmanship, and an unsurpassed gold standard quality. Some things never change. At ICO, we believe some things never should.
And there's a map that's going to come up, I think 1 or 2 slides from now, but it'll allow me to kind of show you guys when we talk about vertical integration, not having a do not mix situation. I will list the number of plants that have shipped into Houston once we finish this next slide. Okay.
Can you explain the do not mix thing and how that's different from the other?
Yes, sir. So we'll go to it right now. So right now, if you look at this map in Houston, we currently have shingles from our VMI yard in Houston, the VMI yard in Lubbock, IKO Brampton, so it's going to be right there in Ontario, IKO Hawkesbury, which is going to be on the right, Hillsboro, which is right here in right here in Texas, Kankakee, which is in Illinois, and Sylacauga, which is in Alabama. Currently, we received, my territory alone has received essentially shingles from Brampton, Hawkesbury, Hillsboro, Kankakee, and Sylacauga. They're all in the Houston market right now. Okay, there's not a situation where, hey, we can't put this weatherwood from Hawkesbury with this weatherwood from Hillsboro. It's a situation where when those bundles come out, every single one of those bundles has the name. It's going to say IKO Cambridge, then it's going to say weatherwood, and right under it's going to have 4 numbers. The first number is going to be a 9, which is going to describe the year it was made. So 2025 is going to be a 9, 2024 is going to be an 8, 2023 is going to be a 7, okay? The next 3 numbers after that first number is going to be the day of the year it was made. So 9030 is January 30th, 2025, okay? If we see 9030, we don't want to put that with an 8030 because those are made a year apart. If one's been sitting in a yard for a year and the other one just came out of the plant, there could be a color variation, right? So we want to try and keep those numbers, those last 3 numbers, within 100 days of each other. As long as we do that, teamwork with distribution, teamwork with you guys, most times we're able to prevent most of the issues because that is really what it comes down to. Is it, hey, well, we needed to get Biscayne, but Biscayne was only available in West Texas, and it's been in West Texas for 2 years, and we have 20 squares here, but we need these last 5, and we put these on the same roof, and then, hey, these look different, right? So we try to avoid that whenever possible. But
sorry, so usually the first number
is a year.
It just needs to match with the other first number?
The next 3 numbers we want to be within 100 days. So it could be like an 8333 and a 9030. Those can go on the same roof, right? Because it's 333rd day of 2024 with the first 30 days of 2025. Those are made 60 days apart. You can put those on the same roof, right? It's just a matter of those last 3 numbers, because right now we're in June. So anything you get with an 8 on it, it needs to be with less than 100 on that 9, right? Just because we don't want to put something from beginning of January on with anything from 2024, right? And so just being proactive about those things can help us alleviate a lot of issues. The plant in Corona, California has been closed. We just opened IKO Metals. Had a soft opening 2 weeks ago in Ennis. So we do have a metals plant, which they'll do Decra and Tilcor out of in Ennis, Texas. We'll do 4-wide laminate in Hillsboro. So we make Cambridge Dynasty, we make Nordic, we make our Marathon, we make our Hip and Ridge 12, and we make our Leading Edge Plus at the plant in Hillsboro. Due to the growth that has happened in Houston, there is a scenario in which Silicaga could start shipping into Texas much more. Houston ships as far west as basically Utah, New Mexico, Arizona. What's happened in Houston has caused some things to be reevaluated. We're opening a plant in Clay Hill in Q1 of next year in Jacksonville, which is going to take over the eastern seaboard, which means there's going to be a lot of shingles that need to be sold out of Alabama. And so there could be a situation where Texas is split. And so that's something that's being talked currently. But essentially, Silicaga is the newest plant we have. It's the best, essentially, from a process and performance standpoint. They win like our quality awards every year. But personally, I'm a logistics guy. The plant being 2.5 hours away is ideal. 3 hours away is ideal for me, right? So anyway, Bismarck Granules will be the newest granule facility that's opened here in the continental U.S. We'll have our fiberglass mat and our glass fibers coming out of Chester County, South Carolina. If you sell commercial, we have a TPO plant out in Maryland. I don't know much about commercial whatsoever. Right now, Hawkesbury is a plant that operates in Canada. They operate for about 5 or 6 months out of the year in their market, and then they're shipping the rest of the country. Sumas is going to be where Sumas, Washington is going to be where if you ever do armor shake or anything like that, most of that is going to come right out of this plant for the entire country. Last year, Hillsboro made Nordic for the entire country. Right, so from a standpoint of now we have 3 different plants making our Nordic product as the demand increases. Last year was the first time west of Mississippi that IKO had a 40% product mix that was performance. So that means 40% of the shingles that we sold west of the Mississippi were Dynasty or Nordic. That was the first time that's happened. Previously we were known as a builder grade shingle, Cambridge Weatherwood and dual black, Marathon plus Weatherwood and dual black, and that was really where we got fit in, whether it was D.R. Horton or Lennar or Pulte or whatever, whereas now we're having conversations about performance, we're having conversations about designer, and there's more shingles coming from more places into the market because of it. We are in the mid-states. Hayden Williams runs the area in green. Scott Campbell runs everything in green and blue. Laura Yarrington is my boss. She essentially runs Louisiana, Arkansas, East Texas, and Houston. Okay, there is an opening currently for the rest of Texas and Oklahoma, but I imagine that'll get announced within the next week or so. Jack Houston was just promoted to national accounts, so that's not like anybody got let go. He just got promoted. Yes. And then TPO, the commercial products. I know Ryan Roberts is the Sonner and Associates rep. He's been hitting the ground pretty hard. I know you said you guys are certified commercial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ryan Roberts is hitting the ground pretty hard with Sonner and Associates. Well, there you go. He's burning, blowing, and going. He's our rep here locally. I know we have independent reps at other parts of the country. I think they're trying to do that until we get them enough of a footprint to where somebody can be like a official IKO commercial guy. Right now, I think Metals team is only like 8 people nationwide, and commercial might be less than that. So they cover huge territories. When we talk about a 4-wide laminate plant, what we're talking about is the ability to create 2 lines of shingles right next to one another at the same time. We have essentially 8 4-wide laminate plants that will be open once Clay Hill opens in Jacksonville. From a capacity standpoint, it's not saying that other manufacturers don't have the ability to grow with demand, but where the company is going long term, the company carries no debt. Everything that is done with cash on hand. So the fiberglass mat plants, the granule facilities, the Clay Hill plant, all of that came from cash on hand. The company did, original owners did migrate from Poland after World War II. So there was, they migrated from Poland to Canada, and that's kind of where they started their entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial journey. So yeah, when we talk about investments, $1 billion investments in the last 5 years. If you look at anything going on right now, it's mergers and acquisitions. It's the middle guys and the smaller guys kind of getting eaten up as we are going into, I guess, a quote-unquote brave new world. In the last 5 years, like I said, we just announced IKO Metals, redid the plant in Brampton, IKO Fiberglass, and the IKO Glass Fiber plant in Chester, South Carolina. We announced Jacksonville in 2023. Bismarck Granules was announced in 2021. in regards to the TPO plant. That was back in 2021. So from a standpoint of how long it takes to actually start, get an idea, make an actual like rendering of an image, get a greenfield, build a plant, hire a staff, actually get everybody up to train and get it going, you can see we've been at it 4 or 5 years already, right? Every bundle that we have is going to have the different codes that we have been approved for. The biggest one on this is Miami-Dade. If you're Miami-Dade approved, you're basically going to be code for anybody that's across really any industry in regards to being able to meet a code. If it's a situation where you run into Texas Department of Insurance or Texas Windstorm guy, and he's like, it needs to be UL 2218 to get a Class 3 or Class 4 impact rating, we actually have some documentation saying Texas Department of Insurance doesn't actually test for shingles anymore, they test the accessories. So we have the stuff from State Farm saying, hey, this is a Class 3, Class 4 shingle. We have the FM test, we have the UL test. Once we've sent that information, it hasn't been an issue with an adjuster approving it and being like, okay, we're good to go. So we do have a workaround for that. And then this is just a snapshot of the different plants across the country. In North America, again, we are a North American manufacturer. We will have 4-wide laminate plants in the continental United States by this time next year. And so I think that is really important to hit home. I think sometimes people will be like, oh, it's a Canadian shingle. It's Canadian shingle. Well, your raw material inputs are actually made in continental US. Outside of your asphalt, and asphalt is shared by Canada by 90% of the industry. Everybody gets their asphalt from Canada, just about. So from a standpoint of just because you have a Ford F-150 in Texas doesn't mean the parts didn't come from Mexico, right? And I think it's really important to kind of hit that home sometimes. So that is our Hillsborough plant. We do plant tours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Ms. Rita only does one per day. So again, if we want to do that, that's something we need to book out 7 or 8 weeks. But we can make that happen. Normally we go out there, like go up in the morning. We can do the plant tour, grab some lunch in Hillsborough, and then come back. Or if it's like we want to do like a sales contest, Quentin and I can get together and be like, hey, maybe the top 2 guys, we put something together for Q3, whether it's going to Dallas and doing something, whether it's doing something here locally, but trying to generate a sales contest for Q3 and get you guys kind of motivated to sell it, and we can kind of build in. We just need to toss some ideas around. And then that's Clay Hill. I'll probably won't ever go to Clay Hill, but they will do 4-wide. They'll do residential and commercial products out of that location. So it's got to be the biggest plant in the country. This is one of the last ones we got to worry about. Don't worry, we're blowing and going. Let's see if it goes out like it's supposed to. All right. Perfect.
Hi, my name's John. I'm plant
So
engineer
this,
at IG
when
Machine
you
Design.
asked, can you explain the vertical integration thing, right? Part of the reason that we can take stuff from different places is because we control the raw material supply, right? Instead of, in this part of the country, we're using these rocks, in this part of the country, we're using these rocks, we're essentially making all the rocks for the entire country in one place. We're making the wrappers for the entire country in one place, right? And so it kind of allows us not only to get you a competitive product at a competitive price, but it also allows us to kind of do things like this to where you can see, oh, okay, well, that's why you can take the Hawkesbury stuff and take it with Hillsborough and put it on the same roof. It's because they're coming from the same quarry, right?
And we make granules for all roofing products in ICO. A granule is a very small piece of rock that, when painted, reflects the sunlight. The sunlight has UV rays which can degrade asphalt over time, which, if you apply a roof with no granules, it would fall apart within a couple of years. Here at the plant, we have a 5-step process. We blast the material, we crush it, we color it, we bake the color onto the granules, and then we ship it out to various roofing facilities across North America. Each production blast that happens about 3 to 4 times a year allows us to reduce the size of boulders and allows our crushing machines to efficiently handle the material. We have a primary crusher down to the quarry, which reduces the size of the boulders down to about 8 inches. This is then crushed a second time in our secondary crusher, and then crushed again in our tertiary crusher to reduce it down to the fine material that you see on the roofing shingles. We have 17 colors here at the plant, which allows us to provide different aesthetics and different reflectivities for our shingles. These painted granules go through our kilns, which bakes the paint onto the material, which will allow it to last for a long period of time. This is then coated with a special proprietary mixture, which prevents the bleaching of the material over time. We then ship this material to various roofing facilities across North America. As ICO is a vertically integrated company, this is just one part. It's great going around different neighborhoods and seeing people's roofs, knowing that I'm part of the process that's keeping these houses safe and looking good for a long period of time.
So, and it's like, it's weird because like when we go to the plant, when I went to the metals plant, I never met anybody there. right? Like it's completely, a completely different.
Well, I basically bought this
It's a
roof
completely different
over
arm,
the internet.
a completely
which was
different arm of the company, and you just kind of see like those guys. Like we never see them; they rarely see us unless we go on a plant tour. But we are all working on the same team, same umbrella, trying to accomplish the same thing. And so sometimes you forget. I sell the shingle, I do the presentation, right? But who made the board? Who actually put the presentation together? The marketing team, all these different type of people allow us to do what we do. And so sometimes it's just I like showing that video because it's like there's a lot of things that go into that shingle getting to you guys at the price that he sells it, that you sell it to the homeowner to put it on the roof. You know what I mean? So just kind of where the different things across the country come from. Your wrappers are coming out of Barrie, Ontario. Ceramic coated granules will be coming out of Bismarck, Missouri once the Missouri plant opens. Like I said, your asphalt is going to be industry shared. Everybody gets their asphalt from darn near Canada. And that's why we're saying we are, how do they say it? We're almost a fully vertically integrated company. Like we don't control the asphalt. We're like Expon's third largest exporter of asphalt. So we don't control every part of the actual process, okay? Glass fibers are going to come out of Chester County and Clarksville. Your fiberglass mat is going to come out of Chester County, South Carolina. And soon your back surfacing will come out of Bismarck, Missouri as well. So from a continental U.S. standpoint, you're going to have raw material inputs and plants all coming out of the continental U.S., okay? This is going to be what we're talking about on our IKO Dynasty. So every single one of our IKO Dynasty and IKO Nordic shingles is going to have an 1.25" nail line on the front. And on the back of it, at the common bond area, there's going to be an interwoven band that we call our armor zone. And that armor zone is essentially going to be what's tested here. We're testing it against two competitors. One is the most popular shingle on the market, and the other one is going to have a reinforced nailing strip on the front of the shingle, okay? Essentially what they're going to be testing is the pounds of pressure it takes to take that shingle off the roof, i.e. a storm comes through with some high gust winds, okay? Uh-oh.
We're here at IKO Research where we do a lot of different testing. Today we're going to be looking at the nail pull-through test. What that's going to do is we're going to put a roofing nail through a sample of shingle and rip it out the other side using our universal testing machine here. It's going to show the amount of force that it takes to pull the nail out, and that's going to show how strong we are. First up, we have one of our competitor shingles, normal laminated shingle. The second one that we're going to be looking at is one of our competitors that does use a nailing reinforcement. And finally, what we have is the IKO Dynasty Performance Shingle. And on the back, we have our Armor Zone tape, and this is going to provide some excellent reinforcement and strength. In the table here, we have the Armor Zone tape, and this is going to provide some excellent reinforcement and strength. In the table.
So what we had essentially was they ripped that shingle out, or ripped that nail through all three brands. We have the most popular shingle on the market, pretty nice strike zone nailing area right there. We have a shingle that has a reinforced nailing strip on the front of the shingle, and then we have our IKO Dynasty shingle. And what we're just talking about is the actual competitive product at a competitive price. A competitive product at a competitive price. The price is what it is because we are vertically integrated. Okay, we control the raw material supply for the most part. Less people are touching it, less markups before it gets to you. Okay.
We have the actual results. Our first competitor at 27 pounds, our competitor with the reinforcement tape at 56, and IKO shingles at 82.
So I used to carry this big old board and you come rip it and you come rip it. But I like the video, I sweat a lot less. So two things we take away from this presentation. Number one, IKO is a vertically integrated company, right? Competitive product at a competitive price. The second thing we want to take away from it is that we're a true square, right? That's what it means to you at the door, us versus the competitor, our true square and how that's going to affect your margins, how that's going to help you find the dollars and cents outside of the price that the product is sold at, right? When we say we have a true square advantage, that means the length, the width, and the height of the shingle are all the same. Right, so for Cambridge, Dynasty, and Nordic, they're all the same. They're all going to get you 100 square feet. With some of our competition, it could be 98.4, right? It could be in the 96 range. When we talk about the actual, like for some of the competition, even listed in the room, it might be 65 shingles to get to a square with a competitor, or 64 shingles to get to a square with a competitor versus 60 shingles to get to a square with IKO, right? And when we're talking about a situation where, hey, I hold you $100, I'm giving you $98.40, and I'm gonna do it 1,000 times, but we're good, right? Because that's really what's taking place, right? They're essentially saying, hey, I mean, you're not gonna notice. You just gotta go back to this job site. You just gotta buy another bundle. You just gotta spend a little bit more time on the roof. Just use a few more nails. That's just roofing, right? But as we are trying to become more precise and find those margins, if we can say, hey, I'll save 6.6% of material cost, or 8.3% of material cost, or 10% of material cost, before we ever talk to Quinn about price, right? Just by switching the brand, that's more so what we try to hit home with the different examples that we're about to see.
And the installations will be quicker, right? 'Cause it's
Yeah.
less
Yes, sir.
bundles they have to lift up.
Mm-hmm.
We're out here in Fairmont, Minnesota, where we are doing a little experiment. We are taking a competitor shingle and we are installing this 8-square house. We are then going to remove the shingles and install the same house with our ICO shingle. We are here to experiment the duration of time it's going to take and also the material used to install the roof. So today in our little experiment, we're using ICO Dynasty, which is actually as a company our most sold shingle. This is one of their advantage sized products. And also when it comes to ICO, there's a couple other shingles that fall in line with this, that being the Cambridge, and also their Class 4 shingle being the ICO Nordic. So what makes the ICO shingle an advantage size shingle is the exposure. The exposure actually at 5 7/8 compared to the competitor's 5 5/8. This shingle is not only longer, it's actually wider than most of the competitor shingles also. We use less shingles per roof. That is less shingles that my installers have to lay down and physically do. With less shingles, we are talking about less penetrations throughout the entirety of the project. Less penetrations, less probability of leaking throughout time. So after the experiment, there's a couple things that we've realized. As using the ICO shingle compared to the competitor, we've saved a couple different areas on the material and labor side of things. Not only were we able to complete the project faster, we used less shingles, meaning we used less nails. That meaning it took less.
So right here, let's take this closed captioning off so we can see what we're looking for. ICO Dynasty, we did an 8-square roof. We had a difference of 48 shingles and right under 200 nails, right? When we talk about 48 shingles, that's 2.5 bundles, right under 2.5 bundles. If you're paying $100 a square or $105 a square, you start to see how quickly that can add up. If it's 8 squares versus 30 squares versus 1,000 on a multifamily, right? And I think that's more so what we try to hit home. You pay your guys by the bundle, you're paying by your square, you're gonna save less on your labor. If you're paying material costs, is the biggest thing that goes into your bid, you're gonna save on material. And whatever goes into making a full system, you wanna make a full system, great. If you wanna piecemeal it, great. But the situation where the conversation moves away from, oh, this it's just cheap product or cheap price. Well, it's a vertically integrated company, less people are touching the raw materials. It's actually made to a true square, so we're gonna save money before we ever even talk about price, right? And I think that's really important. Obviously, we have the different programs and stuff that we've already discussed on the back end to help build back into the business. But from a standpoint of the product that you're offering is competitively priced, and it's actually gonna save you money at the door. For instance, say not only you were doing a 30-square roof and you wanted to register an extended warranty and it was a Cambridge roof, it's a cash deal, right? A Cambridge extended warranty is free to register. You use 3 accessories on that. You save money on your material costs by switching to Cambridge versus a competitor. You save money on the extended warranty by what you can offer the homeowner at the door by being a roof pro and saying, hey, well, you know, if you want to go ahead and partner with Martin Roofing and Solar's, partnership with IKO, we can offer you an additional 5 years of peace of mind for $500, and you know that was free for you to register, right? So from a value standpoint, there are things that are built in that don't. So yeah, so Cambridge like our
How much is the Dynasty to warranty?
$75.
$75.
So Cambridge is free.
$25 cheaper.
Yeah, Cambridge is free. Dynasty, Nordic, and Designer, Code Plus, all $75. To register for the extended warranty, you just have to use 3 accessories.
Per single family home.
Single families, yes. I don't believe it changes for multifamily. They've taken the documentation down for multifamily. Like it's so difficult to find. But the last update we had, the warranty is the same.
But it's not capped at a square per house.
No, it's per address. It's per address.
$75 per address
Yeah. So it's not a situation where it's like, oh,
per square.
exactly. Yeah. $4 per square if you want to register this extended warranty, or $3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like that. No, sir.
And Cambridge is free.
Cambridge is free to register.
So
The
that's the
extended.
best one. Cambridge is the top.
So Cambridge is our good, where's mine?
It's right there. It's on the base.
So, so we have a good, better, best. Go ahead and take that, and I can order you guys some of those. There we go. So essentially, if you flip over to the back of that sheet, essentially Cambridge, Dynasty, and Nordic are going to have the same advantage size. So they have the same length, same width, same height, and same exposure on the teeth of the shingle. They're going to have the same blue-green algae resistant warranty of 10 years. And they're going to have the same fast lock sealant to help seal on the roof. The main difference between Cambridge and Dynasty is going to be the high definition colors, because we actually have class 3 designation on Cambridge now. It's going to be the high definition color granules and an 1 1/4 nail line. Once we order you guys your new material, he's got the new Dynasty booklets. Once we order you the new material, the good, better, best looks different. It shows that Cambridge is class 3 as well. Okay. Dynasty and Cambridge vary in the, essentially Cambridge colors are monotone or uniform. Dynasty is going to have 5 color granule drops that go in to make the HD color. Okay. The difference between Dynasty and Nordic is going to be the polymer modified asphalt. Nordic is going to be a class 4. Dynasty is going to be a class 3 with the HD colors. Cambridge is going to be a class 3 uniform color.
What is the polymer modified asphalt?
It's a spray. It's a coating that they spray on top of the shingle to give it an additional impact rating.
Okay.
It's just the reason we say polymer modified is same asphalt in Cambridge, Dynasty, and Nordic, but the spray coating they put on top of Nordic gives it that class 4 impact rating.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Question. So Cambridge is the entry level.
Yes, sir.
So why is the warranty free?
From a standpoint of it's not free to register.
Yeah.
Probably just because we don't have a bunch of people register Cambridge warranties. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the higher level shingles they pay $75.
$75 for Dynasty, Nordic, or any designer shingles. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We pay. I mean, you could sell your homeowner if you want extra dollars, but
It's $75 to register it, basically.
Got it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, and so just a quick highlight, Dynasty and Nordic are gonna have that 1 1/4 nail line. They're gonna have ArmorZone technology on the back of the shingle. It's gonna have the fast lock sealant to help seal on the roof, and then it's gonna have the class 3 and class 4 impact rating, okay? Any color video, oh, perfect.
Hi, I'm Jack from ICO. With several different shingle styles and over 3 dozen color options, ICO is a global leader in the manufacturing and supply of residential roofing shingles. These products serve all 50 US states, 10 Canadian provinces, and are exported to over 40 countries across the globe. Let's have a closer look. The ICO Performance Collection is engineered to offer superior protection against increasingly severe weather events. Both Nordic and Dynasty feature ArmorZone reinforcement for unmatched nail-holding power and ICO Fast Lock sealant. Both Nordic and Dynasty shingles come with 130 mile an hour or 210 kilometer an hour wind limited warranty. Our Nordic line
Warranty information
offers a
is on
class
all
4
those packages.
impact resistance rating. Pair this along with high def colors in ArmorZone and you can understand why we say that Nordic is quite possibly the best laminated asphalt shingle that money can buy. This impact resistance rating may entitle homeowners to a discount on their insurance premiums in some areas, which is a great selling point, but shouldn't be compared with a limited warranty. The Designer Collection is the ultimate in architectural style and beauty. Armor Shake shingles mimic genuine wood shakes and Crown Slate and Royal Estate emulate the luxurious look of natural stone tiles without their associated expense or maintenance worries. The Designer Collection will appeal to homeowners who want to stay in their upscale houses for years to come.
I think it's really important, not to interrupt, but designer want to stay in the upscale houses for years to come. Cambridge, real estate flip, looking to increase the value of a home before sale. And then they're about to talk about, storm areas and different things like that. But where you're pushing the product at, value customer versus high-end customer, 80 square home versus 20 square home, he kind of does hit on where you can probably sell these different types of shingles, okay?
ICO's architectural collection includes Cambridge and Cambridge Cool Colors. Cambridge laminated shingles are extremely popular with homeowners who want a boost of curb appeal or who want to potentially increase the selling price of their home by re-roofing at a moderate cost.
This is
Shingle
a great
color
word track,
is
right?
often a major factor in the buying decision, so don't forget as a first step to tell homeowners about the incredible Roof Viewer tool that's available on ICO's website.
which we looked at already.
Here, with Roof Viewer, homeowners can upload a photo of their own house to try on different colors to see which will work best with the exterior elements of their home, such as siding, trim, and brickwork. Always be sure to see the actual shingles in daylight before making your final color decision. It's quick, it's easy, and it's fun to use. For complete details on each type of shingle, visit ico.com or speak to your local sales rep today.
So yeah, we went over the Roof Viewer app, and then we went over like the Roof Pro Works. The other piece of that is like if you
Hi,
have a homeowner, we went over that part. So every shingle that we offer has a 30-second color video on YouTube. So if you're trying to figure out, hey, what does this color look like? There's a accompanying color video that's online. Anytime you're looking at our brochures, anything with an N and a D on it comes in both Nordic and Dynasty. Anything with just a D on it comes in just Dynasty. So your red, your green, your blue, your Seminole Slate, and your matte black, Dynasty. Okay, and it'll tell you that. But if you were like, well, I wonder what brownstone looks like on a home, you can literally go onto the website, click on brownstone, and then it'll play you a 30-second color video of like a professional. This is what it looks like on a roof. So your homeowner doesn't have any confusion, right? Every color that we offer is going to have a video just like that, whether it's designer, whether it's Cambridge. You'll have something that you can actually go and put your eyes on and see, okay? We'll watch one more just because Sunny Green is a pretty color. So, the big thing is like showing where the color came from, inspired by the color blends, but again, I'm a visual guy. I think, being able to say, hey, well, take a look at this, or hey, here's the sample board, or hey, here's a brochure. I don't want any confusion, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. Right? Oh, by the way, let's put it on your house too, right? There's 4 different touch points that you can have to try and be like, hey, are you sure this is the color you want, right? So yeah, going through colors. Cambridge has the uniform color, so if you look, when we were looking at Dynasty, you can see there's like 5 different color granule drops that are going to make that HD color. Whereas if we go over to our Cambridge colors, they are uniform, right? There's gonna be very, very monotone, very flat. So if somebody wants a class 3 roof, but they want a uniform in color, we've got Cambridge. If they want something that's busy or high definition in color granule, but they're still worried about impact rating, we've got Dynasty. Top of the line, we've got Nordic. If they want to be there in a really high-end home, we've got Designer, right? But we do have different styles. Yes, sir.
Is there a Dynasty that doesn't have the big color variation?
Matte black is going to be the only uniform that's black on black or a super black, and we're working on a cornerstone weatherwood or weatherwood. We're working on a uniform weatherwood. It's only available in Washington right now.
Okay.
They're doing product mix they're trying it out. But yes,
Cool.
They are working on a uniform weatherwood. Because basically the closest thing we're going to have to something that doesn't look as busy is drift shake.
Okay.
Right, and so like you'll see Cornerstone is 5 different color grades. It's got some blue, it's got some gray, it's got the brown. Whereas Drift Shake is mainly brown and brown, black, and gray in regards to the colors that are in there. And then in regards to our Performax system, we have essentially 3 accessories. The most common accessories that you guys are going to be able to make a full system. I think we're going to be piecemealing, but if we're going to make a full system, we have our Storm Shield, 195 square feet per roll. That's our ice and water. We have our Storm Tight, which is our synthetic underlayment. Y'all might be using Top Shield or somebody else's underlayment.
I think we do everything IKO except for the underlayment.
Okay, so
That way we're using 3 or 4 of
3 accessories plus a field, right?
Yeah.
So then we'll use Storm Shield, is going to be our ice and water at 195 square feet per roll. We'll be using Leading Edge Plus, which is 123 linear feet per bundle. And then we'll be using our Hip and Ridge 12, which is 36.5 linear feet per bundle in regards to the capping shingle. So other than that, preguntas. Questions?
I guess if you were going to pitch a homeowner this versus another, just give us your spiel.
For my spiel, so I don't necessarily sell negatively against other brands, right?
I would just say, what are the pros?
But for me, it would be a situation where if I'm offering an IKO shingle, I'm offering it to a homeowner who is price conscious, but is also worried about the product they're being offered. Being able to make them an American-made product, and being able to make them a product that is made here in the state of Texas. From a standpoint of the value to them, being able to offer them a 15-year, non-prorated, labor and material warranty. By being a Roof Pro Select, I can upgrade that to 20 years from a standpoint of I'm selling you a good product at a good price that gives you peace of mind long term. That would be essentially what I would be trying to sell. On the other side of it, comparison wise, saving you margins on the material cost, adding in the marketing fund, counting towards the SPIF program, all of those different type of things add into the building back into the business. But the value to the homeowner is they have web integration in regards to being able to look up the product. They have the ability to do their own research. You're dealing with a more educated buyer than you've ever had before. So if they are educated, they're able to go and say, hey, look, I'm partnered with IKO. This person is going to stand behind us, and we're going to stand behind you. This is the product that we're offering. These are the colors that they offer. These are the different styles in which we can do it. And then from a standpoint of you allow that homeowner to make the decision that's best for them, right? But from a negatively recruiting against anybody, I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, a shingle is, at the end of the day, an asphalt shingle, right? From a standpoint of how does it affect your bottom line in your business? What is their visibility like? How do they look at it 5 years from now? Are you going to have to come back, right? From a standpoint of, you know, where's the company going in regards to the investment and being able to build back into the product? We're partnering with a brand that is going and looking forward, not back. They're still continuously making investments into the brand, which is going to allow us to make investments into ourselves. Those type of things are what I would try to hit on versus maybe, I mean, at the end of the day, 65 shingles versus 60 shingles to a square on 20 squares, is that a huge deal? No. On 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, it starts to affect your bottom line, right? If they go on and they can find their shingle in big box, do they want something that they can go into Home Depot and get? Do they want something that they can go into Lowe's and get, right? From a standpoint of, I think there's a few different talking points, but they're going to buy what you sell them at the end of the day.
Can you highlight the difference, I think more so for these guys, but the prorated on your warranty versus some other companies? Because I think that's a big selling point.
Yes, I can. 1 second.
And also, just kind of ballpark, how many Craftsman Premier companies would you guess there are in like the greater Houston area?
I know I have 5.
Okay.
So Greater Houston, I don't know how many Ted has.
Yeah.
But I have 5 and I have 99 accounts, not including distribution. So like from a standpoint of 5% of my contractors are Craftsman.
Cool.
Yeah. Extended. Let's see what I did here. Oh, that's not it. That's not it. Let me see. I need to find, who's the last person I sent that to? Shucks. Did I have it attached on this invite? If not, I can send it to myself right now. I think I did. Let me see. Yes. Extended warranty documents. Okay. Let's pull this back up. All right. So we want to look, zoom this out just a smidge. Everybody see that? Okay. So standard out of the wrapper warranty is going to be in the left-hand column. And this is on the invite I sent you, so you can have this to print, okay? But out of the wrapper, the ICP or the ironclad protection period is what covers labor and materials, okay? Outside of labor and materials, or outside of the ironclad protection period, the company will cover material only, okay, on the warranty. So within the first 10 years on Cambridge, 0 to 10 years, any manufacturer defects, you reach out, we do a claim. Essentially, I'm in point of contact within a year. After that, we'll have the homeowner reach out to the warranty department directly. But labor materials are covered within the first 10 years on the ironclad protection period on Cambridge, within the first 15 years on Dynasty, Nordic, Crown, and any designer. Dynasty, Nordic, any designer, 15 years non-prorated labor materials. Cambridge, 10 years non-prorated labor materials. In the event that we decide to, as a Roof Pro Craftsman Premier, that we decide, hey, we want to go ahead and use 3 accessories, you can add 5 years to the ironclad protection period. Okay, so Cambridge goes from 10 years to 15 years. Right here, Dynasty goes from 15 years to 20 years. Designer goes from 15 years to 20 years, okay? Code Plus is our premier, top of the line, top of the industry install method, installing fortified guidelines. Essentially, you would be using 5 accessories, not 3, at which point you'd be able to offer the highest warranty we have, which is 25 years, now prorated for labor and materials, okay? Now, Cambridge has a 130 mile an hour wind rating warranty as long as you use 6 nails. Dynasty, Nordic, Designer, 4 or 6 is going to get you to 130. When we talk about the coverage in regards to algae resistance, it's 10 years, blue-green algae resistance across the board, out of the wrapper versus whether you're a craftsman or using accessories or not, it's 10 years across the board. And it is transferable standard warranty once in the first 10 years. As a roof pro, you can transfer once within the first 15 years, okay? But the ironclad protection period, I think it starts being transferable after year 12 as a craftsman.
So, it's non-prorated up to 20 with us, and then
As long as you use 3 accessories, yes sir.
yes, and then it goes to 40 prorated, right?
From years 21 to 40, it prorates down for material only.
So the big difference with other companies is they'll say, oh, we have a 50-year warranty, but it's prorated like after year 10 on, it's prorated. So with this, it's non-prorated for an extra 10 years. So they get 100% labor materials for an additional 10 years.
By using 3 or more accessories.
Correct.
So we do that on all the roofs, right?
Okay.
So as
If
long,
we're offering the warranty, like, you know, if we're selling the more expensive system with warranty. But, so yeah, double the non-prorated amount of time.
Yeah.
So when a homeowner said, well, this one's a 50-year warranty and this one's only 40, you say, yeah, but that one starts prorating after year 10, which means your warranty goes down in value. This prorates after year 20. And who really is going to have a warranty at year 41? Right.
and the other part is where the industry is going. I was buying stuff with the IBH, right? So that's the governing body of the insurance companies. So in the event that, for instance, an insurance company starts saying we're not covering policies after 10 years and the manufacturer says we're going to start prorating down at year 10 or year 11, that extra 10 years is peace of mind that can't really be quantified for a homeowner, right? And that's just by changing the brand, right? And so I think that's another talking point. You're saying, how are you selling it? Well, yeah, they have a 50-year warranty, but in regards to what your policy is, I'm not asking you to see your policy, Mr. and Mr. Homeowner, but from what your policy is and what we're hearing and where the industry is going, you're going to need peace of mind outside 10 years, and that's the product we're bringing to you, right? And I think you're coming with a solution to where the industry is going, which I think can help get that sale, right?
You said what was it called? The algae something?
Blue-green algae resistance?
Yeah, that's 10,
Yes, sir, 10 years.
and that's across the board for all products. no matter
So
what.
the accessories are going to have the same warranty as the field shingle you use, right? So if you used Marathon or 3-tab, right, technically ironclad is only going to be 5 years on all the accessories used with that 3-tab. Whereas if you're using Dynasty and you do the 3 accessories to go with the field shingle, everything would have that 20-year, the hip and ridge, the field shingle, the leading edge, and the ice and water. Because it's not like you can rip that roof and then know whether or not the accessories failed once you've changed the composition of them.
You're saying for the algae warranty, if you're using Dynasty and the 3 and the Select, it's a 20-year algae?
No, it's still 10. It's still 10.
He's saying it goes down to 5 if you use 3-tab hip and ridge.
Right, because that's what the ironclad protection period covers.
I got you.
Right.
Any other questions, Field?